Have you ever cried out to God and been met with silence? You prayed. You waited. You believed with all your heart, but nothing changed. And maybe the worst happened anyway. You've watched something die. A dream that once burned brightly, flickering now into ashes. A relationship that held your laughter, your secrets, your very soul, torn apart by distance, silence, or broken promises. A person, someone you loved deeply, slipping away before your eyes, out of reach. And in that heavy silence you wonder, why didn't he come? This is the story of a family who felt that very same ache. It's the story of a man named Lazarus, and the day Jesus wept. Lazarus was sick, not a simple cough or cold, but a sickness so severe it threatened his very life. He lived in a quiet village called Bethany, just a short journey outside the bustling city of Jerusalem. In that home, Lazarus shared life with his two sisters, Mary and Martha, women of faith, hope, and fierce love. They weren't just followers of Jesus. They were his friends, people he cherished deeply, people he had laughed with around the table, broken bread with in their humble home, and shared moments of grace and truth. When Lazarus became ill, it wasn't a matter of days, it was urgent. In their desperation and trust, Mary and Martha sent word to Jesus, saying simply, "Lord, the one you love is sick." No details, no desperate pleas, just a quiet trust, a faith that he would come. Because they had seen him heal the sick before. They had seen him raise hope from despair, and surely he would come for a friend. But Jesus received their message and did not immediately go. Instead, he said, "This sickness will not end in death. It is for God's glory, so that God's Son may be glorified through it." Then, Jesus stayed where he was, for 2 more days. Meanwhile, in Bethany, the days stretched long and heavy. Lazarus' condition worsened. His breathing grew shallow, his strength faded. Mary and Martha waited anxiously, watching helplessly as their beloved brother slipped further away. And still, Jesus did not come. Their hope began to waver. The hours turned into days, and finally, Lazarus died. Grief poured over their home like a crushing wave. Friends gathered to mourn, to offer comfort, to stand alongside Mary and Martha in their sorrow. But the questions lingered. Where was Jesus? Why had he not come when they had called? After 2 days, Jesus finally spoke to his disciples. 4 days since his body had been laid in the tomb, 4 days since his loved ones had last touched his hand, whispered his name, held back their tears. Martha heard Jesus was coming. She ran to meet him, words heavy with sorrow but still edged with faith. "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." She was not angry, she was broken-hearted. And yet, even in the midst of pain, she spoke with hope. "But even now I know that God will give you whatever you ask." Jesus looked at her with deep compassion. "Your brother will rise again," he said. Martha answered, "I know that he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day." But Jesus was not talking about a far-off future. He said, "I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live, even though they die. And whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Do you believe this?" Martha answered without hesitation, "Yes, Lord. I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, who was to come into the world." Martha went back into the house to call Mary. When Mary heard that Jesus was there and wanted to see her, she rose quickly and went out to him. The people who had been mourning with Mary assumed she was going to the tomb to weep, but instead she went straight to Jesus. When she saw him, she fell at his feet, weeping. "Lord," she said, "if you had been here, my brother would not have died." When Jesus saw her weeping and saw the others weeping too, he was deeply moved, troubled in his spirit. He asked them, "Where have you laid him?" "Come and see, Lord," they said, and then Jesus wept. 2 words, the shortest verse in the Bible, but maybe the most powerful. He wept. He didn't say you should have trusted more. He didn't say just wait and watch. He didn't rush past their pain. He entered it. The Son of God stood with broken people and cried. He wept because they were hurting. He wept because death was not part of God's perfect plan. He wept because love always breaks in the face of loss. In that moment, Jesus revealed something often forgotten. Before the miracle comes, before the glory is revealed, he walks with us through the pain. Jesus approached the tomb. It was a cave, cool and dark, with a heavy stone rolled across the entrance. "Take away the stone," Jesus commanded. Martha hesitated. "Lord, by now there is a bad odor. He has been dead 4 days." Jesus replied, "Did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God?" They rolled the stone away. Jesus looked up to heaven and prayed, "Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I know you always hear me, but I said this for the people standing here, And then, something incredible happened. From inside the tomb came footsteps. Lazarus, alive. Still wrapped in burial cloths, still bound hand and foot, but breathing, standing, walking. "Take off the grave clothes," Jesus said. "Let him go." A man who had been dead was alive again. Grief turned to awe. Sorrow turned to joy. And hope, true hope, was resurrected. Many who witnessed this miracle believed in Jesus that day. How could they not? They had seen with their own eyes the power of God and the tender heart of a Savior who weeps with the broken. This story is more than a miracle. It's a message. Because the truth is, we've all had a Lazarus moment. We've all buried something. We've all faced seasons of waiting, wondering why God didn't intervene. But here's what this story teaches us. God's delay is not his denial. His silence is not his absence. And death, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual, is never the end of the story. Sometimes he waits so his glory can shine even brighter. Sometimes he allows things to fall apart, so the miracle that follows is undeniable. And always, always, he meets us in our pain first. He doesn't skip the valley. He doesn't rush past the grief. He walks with us. He weeps with us. He calls us back to life. You may feel like God is 4 days late, like the stone has already been rolled over your deepest hope. But he still speaks to the dead places in your life. He still calls things back to life. He still says, "Come out." So if you're in a season of loss, if your hope feels buried, if you've prayed and heard nothing, don't give up. Jesus weeps with you. He walks toward you, and he still holds resurrection power. The grave does not have the final word. Tonight, remember this. The same Jesus who wept for Lazarus weeps for you. The same Jesus who stood outside a tomb can stand inside your situation. And the same voice that called a man back from death can speak life into you today.